Hello, everyone, and welcome to our next Influence Report. I have Jay back. Hey, Jay.
How's it going, guys? Good to see you.
Jay Twining is one of our senior designers. My name is Brad Loxton. I'm the senior producer on DD2. And here at the Influence Report, we're going to talk to you guys really about how you influence our game through your communication to us in the forums, things that are going on in our influence vote, and just in general commentary that we're getting from our different connection points with you. So today we're going to go through some of that community feedback. We're going to talk about our current vote, and we're actually going to talk about our influence system in general and some improvements we're going to make. So let's get right into it.
Let's jump in. Let's go.
All right. So first up, we have three things we're going to talk about today. Threads from the community that we received. First up is about our item enhancement system. We've been getting some fun notes that maybe people don't like when they enhance something and they have to skip every single level that their item leveled up. It's a lot of fun, right, Jay?
You know, attacks per minute is the thing in other kinds of games.
Attacks per minute.
Clicks per minute, right?
Clicks per minute.
So the original design for item enhancement is that when you click, it skips to the full experience that you've earned.
And funny enough, that's still the current design.
It's still the design.
It's a bug. And it's a really bad bug, and we've also gotten that from QA recently. We have fixed the bug since.
Yes.
Fix will be coming in a patch very soon. It was a really bad bug that caused a lot of frustration, and we're excited to have that solved. So that said, though, the item enhancement system is really at phase 1. And there are a lot of things we're going to do with it down the road to improve it, new features we're going to add in. So watch for us to iterate and add more depth into that as we go forward. Going to the next one, we have, so this is really people communicating to us how they want different builds. And it talks about how, there's a forum thread that was going that was discussing how people who got DPS armor or stats or DPS spec nodes weren't doing as much damage as maybe a normal tower.
Right.
And they were kind of like, what's going on? Why is that the case? Can you tell us a little bit about why that might be the case?
Sure. So in Foundation 1, the question that we were really trying to answer was, what role do defenses play in Dungeon Defenders 2? So it's an entire ecosystem when it comes to different builds, the defenses, your heroes, the kind of gear you can collect. And so that was really the core focus. And so part of future Foundations is these alternate playstyles. And so, we have the DPS playstyle, we have ability playstyle, we have the defensive playstyle.
Maybe hybrid playstyles.
Hybrid playstyles, that's right. And so part of this feedback, as we've been reading on the forums and responding, and I have a handful of threads that are out there talking about either specific heroes or special stats, that kind of stuff, is where do we want to go? Where do we want to go with DPS heroes? Where do we want to go with ability heroes?
Yep. And a lot of that really is just a scoping thing. There's a list of things, a line of things that we have that we're going to work on, and we have to figure out how we're going to, slot those things in based on the time that we have and what we work on milestones, how milestones progress. So stay tuned as we continue to go through this process and figure out the best way for us to run them out. We're not done yet. And that's the reason why that's the case at the moment.
That's right.
And that kind of segues actually really well into our last topic for the community feedback thread, which is really talking about some of the same things.
Yes.
We have a special stat on the Apprentice, and we're getting some feedback that maybe it doesn't work for builders.
Right. So one of the legendary special stat for the Apprentice on the legendary weapon is that your defenses can mark targets. And so this opens up really, really interesting play opportunities for ability-focused heroes.
Right.
And so I have another thread that talks about the different kinds of special stats. And we've just talked about the different builds. This specific special stat was targeting ability-focused apprentices.
And it's actually a lot of fun if you combine it with things like reduced cooldowns for like a magic missile, or if you get mana regen, use the spec node to increase your mana regen.
Right.
It can be a lot of fun. So be patient with us as we add these new things in. We know that maybe some of the first legendaries, we only can do a couple of them at a time. They're going to be a little bit maybe aimed at a certain playstyle that's not you. There's a line of these things that we're going to run through, and as we go through, we'll add more. So that kind of wraps it up for the community section. Let's jump right into the influence vote. So right now we have a one running. It's actually ending, I think, today.
Yes.
Today for us. I don't know when you're watching the video. Jay, why don't you give us a quick update on what this vote's about?
Sure. The current vote is a preferential vote. It's a commander incursion vote, and it's Tuskar, the Warboar commander, versus Griblock, the Goblin commander.
Awesome. And we are actually pretty far along with this vote. I'm going to read them off my paper so I don't get them wrong. Right before I walked in here, I checked the values. We're at 7,026 votes for Griblock and 4,977 votes for Tuskar. What's been great about this vote has been watching he's laughing already, it's great. Watching the interaction with everyone on the thread, talking about which one they like more and petitioning for people to throw votes in.
Yes.
And one thing that we've been seeing people say is that maybe they should vote for Griblock because he's going to be easier. Jay, what do you think about that whole be easier thing?
I think it's a little bit of calling the gauntlet, throwing down a challenge.
Yeah,
and
it's not going to
be easy. We'll let you know that we will rise to the occasion.
That's right. So obviously we go through phases of these things when you release them, but the plan is for all the incursions to be really fun and challenging and exciting. Yes. So if you're voting for Griblock because you think he's going to be easy, I don't think these guys are going to let you get away with that. So that's the current influence vote. It's wrapping up soon. We'll have the results probably the next day or so. But in general, we're really trying to find ways to improve the influence system. Mm-hmm. And we're getting a lot of feedback about how we can make the system work better. And why don't you tell us some of the feedback we've been getting?
Sure. And so one of the big things is the apparent lack of consequence or impact in the vote. So because we've chosen one direction, being the preferential votes, those are more things that we really care about. We have this really good queue of systems, features, and content. A queue.
I think that's a line.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. There's a queue of features and content that we want to release. And those decisions, which one we do first, those are really important to us.
It really is important to us. And it has a huge impact on how we focus our time. There's more work that we want to do.
Yeah.
So that's what we've been putting out first. We're getting notes back that's not really what you guys want to give us as far as notes. So we're talking about that right now and trying to figure out different ways to present votes to you. We had a vote actually originally scheduled for next week, and we're going to hold that back for a little bit because we want to make sure that we find the best way for your guys' voice to be heard. So sometime end of next week or the early the week after, we're going to have our next vote, and we're hoping to find, we don't know if we'll get it right, but we're going to take the next iteration on how we send out influence votes, and we'll get some better, hopefully, responses from that. Additionally, we've also been getting some notes about improving the influence interface itself. Yes. And a lot of that's been about, right now you can see how many votes and how many people voted for each one. And if you like for example, if you like Tuskar right now, you're going, well, man, maybe I shouldn't put my vote in. He's going to lose. And that's just kind of vote bias that we don't expect.
Yep.
So we're going to change that in the near future. We're going to make it, our plan is to make it so that you see the total number of votes cast for both options, the total number of people that are participating. Maybe we show you which one is currently winning, but we don't show you by how much.
Yeah.
And that'll allow you to walk in and not be biased by what the current vote setup is. And we think that will probably encourage people to not hesitate, which we are getting that note. We see it in the forums.
Yes, all the time.
So look for those changes in the future and help us and continue to give us feedback as we improve influence and go through its alpha phase. That kind of wraps up our influence report. We're really excited that you guys have joined us today. Jay, thanks a lot for being here again.
Thank you again for having me. And as always, please keep up your suggestions and keep posting on the forums. As I said, in Designland, we really like to read those. We make the time every week, at least a couple times. I know I personally read the forums 3 times a week just to make sure that I'm in tune with what you guys are saying and responding as much as I can.
Yep, it's really amazing how much these guys, I don't know where they find the time to do it, but they do, and it makes a big difference. So thanks again for all your guys' feedback and notes. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Thank you.